Hi, my name is Nick Amira Taslim binti Martin and my student ID is 2020 60 34 and 88. So, I will be the first presenter in this presentation and I will present about the introduction of corruption in sports. So, what is corruption exactly? Corruption is defined as the misuse of authority for personal benefit. So, corruption destroys confidence, undermines democracy, hinders economic growth, and makes inequality, poverty, social division, and the environmental catastrophe worse. We can only expose corruption and hold the corrupt accountable if we are aware of how it operates and the structures that makes it possible. So why does corruption exist in sport? Because criminals trying to make big money can damage its integrity. Organized syndicate use match fixings and other sports-related crime to make large sums of money and hide their unlawful gains with little chance of being caught. So, sport government, sport agencies, betting regulators, the gaming business and law enforcement must work together on a national and international level to address this concern. So, example of crimes against public order categories include corruption, acts that interfere with society's regular functioning, particularly with moral principles and social behavior, fall under this category of crime. These offences are viewed as damaging and disruptive to the general public. So the 8694 is designed to pursue dishonest public employees, public officers of public bodies, and others who offer or accept bribes. So any member, employee, or servant of a public body is referred to as an officer. When public entity is a corporation, so everyone from the top management all the way down to a person's son-in-law or daughter-in-law is considered to be a person. So, match fixing is considered the most relevant example of corruption through accepting gratification. So, in section 3, bracket A to G of the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Act 2009 provides a detailed definition of gratification in Act 694. A public body in the context of sport is any organization that has been registered under Section 17 of the Sports Development Act 1997 or Act 576. And any sports players union that has been registered under Section 12 of the Trade Union Act 1959 or Act 262, and any sport youth related society and club under Section 9 of the Youth Society and Youth Development Act 2007 or Act 668, and any martial arts based society. For instance, pusaka that has been registered under the Societies Act 1966 or Act 335. So, that's all from me and I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Nur Aisha binti Harizal. My student ID is 2020604004 and my topic is description in corruption. The lack of a clear definition of corruption within this convention, it is argued, is due to the challenge of public opinion, jurisdiction and cultural influence. International conventions are characterized as a soft law instruments in that although they support primarily a criminal law approach to engagement with corruption, they allow discretion at the national jurisdictional level as to when, how will it be achieved. Regardless of the complexity of trying to understand corruption, it is still possible to grasp some understanding of the many and varied acts. It is better to view corruption as a range of acts, some of which are legal but seen as corrupt and others that are both corrupt and illegal. Corruption is therefore very broadly defined or broken down into its constituent elements and can contain illegal and legal but acceptable practices. As the literature suggests, there have been numerous attempts to classify corruption and provide a systematic method for approaching this complex phenomenon. These are political corruption, bureaucratic corruption, and electoral corruption. As a social practice involving individuals and organizations, corruption is inherently difficult to measure. However, in recent years, several organizations have developed a corruption perception index (CPI) for the purpose of qualitatively assessing the pervasiveness of corruption around the world. At one level, these CPI are acknowledged as an important development in raising public awareness of corruption and promoting reform, particularly by Transparency International. However, this approach are also criticized for a lack methodology in showing just one side of the corruption equation. For example, those that receive a payment or give work, ignoring those offering that bribe, often from the private sector.
Okay, first of all, my name is Muhammad Nafis bin Muhammad Farizul and my matrix number is 2020432006. Here is the example of corruption. Okay, the first one is doping. Doping is also known as drugs and doping in sport. Here is one of the doping cases that happened in Malaysia. Doping is one of the corruption in Malaysia. On September 19, 2022, doping scandal rocks Malaysia Games. The Anti-Doping Agency of Malaysia, or also known as ADAMAS, confirmed that 3 weightlifters tested positive for banned substances ahead of Nation Games. Doping violation involving performance-enhancing substances such as anabolic steroids and will carry a mandatory 4-year suspension. The case remains unknown whether any result or national records from the competition will be valid, as MWF are usually in charge of ratifying them. So the second one is match manipulation. Match manipulation is also known as match fixing, betting, gambling, and corruption in sports. Here is one of example cases with our country economy facing challenge back time due to COVID-19 pandemic. Teams who are struggling to pay salaries might fall prey to unscrupulous sponsors. Booking sometimes masquerade as sponsors who then approach teams with a promise to provide funds. There have been several cases in past involving Top M League, which is Malaysia Leagues, but then FAM are working closely with the police and the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission through their integrity committees in all states, FAs and clubs to monitor match fixing in the country. That's all from me. Thank you.
Fees for the example of the corruption. So now I will continue about how to prevent the corruption. So first of all, my name is Nurwardina binti Hasrin. My matric number is 020242858. So here we have a variety of steps that can prevent the corruption. So as you can see on our slide, we can provide the education about the corruption practice, enforce the law, impose a heavy punishment on bribe giver and receiver, ensuring the public sector operate honestly, transparently and responsibly, provide a fair and dignified salary, and running on effective and efficient campaign. So, the first step to prevent corruption from being happen in this country is to educate the general public about the corruption practice. As you know, giving a gift of high value to someone who is beyond his means but has the advantage to help the giver of the gift is also considered as a bribery. This culture need to be explained and remind to every member of society, especially the young, because they have a generation that will inherit the leadership of this country. So, secondly, the practice of corruption may be eliminated by enforcing straightened rules and punishment. as you guys know, we have the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, which is MACC, is well known as an enforcer that monitor and act of corruption related to wrongdoing. We, as a citizen, also accountable for acting as a government spy. Their duty is they must to guarantee the case involved the corruption are carried out promptly and fairly, so that the corruption criminals are not allowed to manipulate the fact and modify their crimes. So all of we should avoid this behavior because corruption should be quickly convicted and jailed without bias. Okay, next, corruption practice can also be overcome by offering fair and dignified salary for all the members of society. This is because if we have enough financial resources to cover the needs and wants of ourselves and our family, their desire to accept the bribes and definitely be avoided. As an individual and family, we will feel happy because our needs and desire are fulfilled without having to do a forbidden things. So we have come to the end. In conclusion, there are many ways that can be adapted in our country to curb the growing symptom of corruption. The general public should always be reminded not to get caught up in this symptom because, as clever as a squirrel jump, it eventually falls to the ground as well. Giver and recipient of the bribes should be punished with an appropriate punishment as a lesson to the public. May each of us carry out our respective obligation, especially the enforcement officer, so that this polemic is resolved quickly. As a result, our society will increase in integrity and be trusted by foreign countries to carry out affairs and other things that can improve the country's image on the world stage.